What's going on, everyone? Hope you're all doing well. This is Brucey Sprue, and I'm here to introduce you to my first ever YouTube video and channel. This video will be the first in a two-part small series of how I got into old school, where I'm currently at in the game, and where I plan to take my account. This will then lead into my Nothing Special series, where I max a main account as an average player, do as much content as I can, and have as much fun as I can in the process. I hope to create even more content in the future for you guys, such as bossing guides, skilling guides, and anything that may pique your interest as I max the account. This video is just going to be me doing a bit of a live ramble while I'm here at DK's. I'm under 1,000 combined KC, and I'm just missing the preem pet, so hopefully you guys can watch me pull a ring or a pet or something. Anyways, let's get into the video. My first experience with RuneScape came in 4th grade around 2005. There was this huge craze around the game. Everyone was playing it. Students, boys and girls alike. I had a friend's parent that would play the game with us. I swear teachers were playing it. It was a huge thing. And one of my friends introduced me to the game, and I loved it immediately. RuneScape was probably the first MMO that I had actually played, the first real MMO that I had played. And like most of us at the time, I had no idea really what I was doing, but I didn't care to find out. I didn't even know I could find out what I was doing. I probably played RuneScape for about a year or two, probably 2 years, and was a member for the most part of it, though I don't really remember doing a lot of members content. I don't think I really utilized my membership a lot. I will say I remember going down to the local CVS with my friends, and we'd go there with our saved allowances and buy the $5 game cards. But just as an example of how bad I was at the game at the time, my friend had Monkey Madness 1 completed. I was too bad to complete it, and we would go to the duel arena, and I would just be there in full rune, rune 2H, 80 defense, 60 attack and strength, and I'd start picking fights with people. Sometimes I'd slap people up, but mostly it was me losing all the time, and it would just take the other guy a while to kill me. I also remember in 6th grade, someone in my class was able to kill Jad and KBD, and I thought that was so god tier. And I mean, it is. That's content I got to earlier this year. So grats on getting a 15-year head start, Tristan. Anyways, the same friend who introduced me to RuneScape introduced me to WoW 2 years later, and I was pretty much hooked ever since. I never fully got back into RuneScape after that. I would try to start up Pures. I'd try to work up on my main, but I just couldn't get the interest back in the game. And eventually my main did get banned for botting. I would take the family laptop just into my room for days on end, and I botted that account into oblivion. Shortly after this, EOC came out, and I was convinced, foolishly, that RuneScape was trying to copy WoW. So I totally left the game and didn't look back. Fast forward about a decade of WoW playing later, and if you guys want me to go in depth onto why specifically I left WoW, I definitely have enough content to make a whole video on that, so leave a comment and let me know. But I was looking for something to AFK while I played World of Warcraft, while I waited for arenas, waited for battlegrounds, and maxed alts and stuff. Normally, I would just do different Skyrim builds, watch movies, go on YouTube, do Game Boy Color, Pokemon reruns with my brother, but for some reason, I had stumbled upon an OSRS mobile ad, and it had really caught my attention, which is weird because at the time I didn't do any mobile gaming. I still don't do any mobile gaming, save for the occasional old school, and that was a selling point for me at the time. Caused me to install the game right away and make an account. I didn't know the difference between OSRS 3 at the time, but I quickly learned and fell in love with the game that I'd played as a kid over a decade ago. However, old school was just an AFK on the side thing for me. I didn't put any real effort into it. I didn't know what the game could offer me. And so after about 3 to 6 months of AFKing old school, I finally was able to complete my first, all the free-to-play quests. But I felt like there was still 99% of the game left for me to enjoy. So I told myself I would continue to AFK on free-to-play, I'd max on free-to-play, and then maybe after that it would be okay for me to jump over to members. So during this process, it was another 3 to 6 months, I did a lot of ranging ogresses, woodcutting willows and yews, fishing on Karamja, killing lesser demons, and pretty much doing everything that I would want to live out as my 9-year-old self. And I did live out my 9-year-old dreams. And after I had realized that, the autumn of 2021 rolled around, and I had become, so increasingly bored of WoW that I decided to take a chance on pay-to-play RuneScape. And I am so glad I did. I'm so glad I did, guys. Um, I left World of Warcraft. I left all my friends there, and I jumped into basically a brand new game with what I would consider negative game knowledge and no friends that actually actively play the game. But like I said, so glad I took that chance. I was so lost first. I thought being a member would somehow make the game less confusing and give me a bit more direction, but it did the exact opposite. And I continued to cement how bad I was at the game by killing flesh crawlers for money until about 60s combats. I was literally paying real world money to kill flesh crawlers. And I thought that cleaning the herbs as I did it was good herb XP. After I realized, I was probably better off in free to play, I thought, I think I need to make something of myself here. And I set out to obtain the quest cape. I was obsessed with that goal. Questing was almost all that I did. If I got bored, I would AFK fish as a moneymaker. Sometimes I would try other skilling methods out. But it got to the point where I was doing about 1 to 3 quests a day. And sometimes the skilling methods required for them as well. So I'm really glad I did this, though, because I had to do so much research and I had to do so much in-game content that I really developed a good base knowledge of the game. I used a lot of Slayer Music's guides before getting onto RuneLite in early 2022. And before I knew it, I was getting into bossing, I was doing higher tier skilling methods, I was coming to understand fundamentals of the game. And at the end of the summer of 2022, I had finally obtained my first ever quest cape. If you guys are struggling with where to go in game, maybe you're bored, you just don't know what to do, you want to challenge yourself, I highly recommend you to go for the quest cape. It is super rewarding, and it's very useful for your account in general. However, within a relatively short span of time, I really felt like I'd learned a lot about the game and was finally starting to make my way. I literally went from killing flesh crawlers about a year ago to one of the most sought after items in game. And I still felt like there was loads of in-game content I needed to learn and do. I felt like what I had accomplished was just an intro to the game. So I had an extra teleport now, and my fashion scape while bank standing was upgraded, but I felt like that I had barely scratched the surface. I almost felt as I did when I completed all of the free-to-play quests, that there was just so much more ahead of me that I had no idea about. And don't get me wrong, guys, the quest cape opened up so many doors for me. Accomplishing it has been the greatest single thing to benefit my account that I have done, so far in the game. But there's just so much more content out there for me to explore and to challenge myself with. I just didn't want to feel complacent. So I made it my goal to max this account, do as much content as possible, and have as much fun as possible while making videos of my journey along the way and hopefully building up a community. As of late, I've been bossing, I've been getting my total level up, and I very recently finished 4th in a game of bingo hosted by Small XP Lamp. It's probably one of the most fun things I've done in-game. Shout out Team 5head and Small XP Lamp for hosting all that. That was seriously incredible. So I'll flash my stats and my high scores here real quick, guys. But it's crazy that this is how far I've come when I was mindlessly killing flesh crawlers for GP a year ago. Anyways, the plans for my next video will be to go over the route I plan to use for maxing and why I've chosen that route. And after that, it will kick off my Nothing Special series where I start making some other smaller guides on the side as I progress this account to max. If you guys have a specific memory of RuneScape in your childhood, or one way you unofficially played the game or play the game is coming to mind, please leave a comment below. I'd love to check all those out, laugh with you guys. I'm sure we've all done our fair share. But thanks for watching, everyone. If you liked the video, please give it a like. And if you're excited for more content from me in the future, please subscribe. Take care. Peace.